Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Robbie the Painter. I'm Robbie, and we're going to do a black canvas painting today. I'm so glad you guys are here today and decided to spend some time with me. Before we get started, a good friend of mine, Mike Moore, who I've known for many years, sent me a picture. His wife is a painter, and he sent me a picture of some of the stuff she was doing. This one in particular, I'm going to put this up right now. Look at that. Her name's Alicia, and amazing work. She's good. So I told Mike I would put one of her paintings up. You guys send me some of your paintings, just send me something. I'll try to work it in at the beginning of an episode and show what you're doing. If you're painting along with me, I'd like to see that too. So let's get started on this canvas here. Like I said, we've got the black gesso. I think we're going to do one of those beautiful night skies. Another friend sent me a photograph of the area that I live in. It's a picture of, it's called Juniper Point, and very pretty area near the lake. And I thought I would do my version of that photograph. So that's what we're going to do. And I've got my paints on my paint palette. Run those colors over here right now so you know what we're using. Let's get started. I'm going to come into a little bit of linseed oil and grab some Prussian blue and just tap that on. I've got a 2-inch brush. We're just going to tap some linseed oil and Prussian blue together here. The linseed oil is to allow the paint to move. We've got a dry canvas and that, so we need something to help that paint move. So we're going to use the Prussian blue for our night sky. And I like Prussian blue. It's a darker blue. It's probably, I don't know what my favorite blue is, but I like them all just because I like blue. But Prussian blue is definitely one of my favorites. Phthalo blue is a little lighter, a little brighter. I like that one too. I think we're just going to come down, just keep coming down with Prussian blue. About half of this painting is going to be sky and nighttime sky. So we'll just bring that down to about there. Okay, now, without washing our brush, we're going to come into some titanium white. And get some titanium white on there. And let's see, where's our brightest point? I know there's like a band across the sky. I think it's the Milky Way in the photograph that's coming across here. Kind of in an arch. Let's grab a little linseed oil. Allow this white to spread a little bit better, just like our blue. Come across this center. And then do some swirls down here. Back and forth, take some of our brush strokes, and we're gonna stand back and look. A little more linseed oil, a little more white. You wanna brighten up this center just a little more. And swirl this up. We're gonna kind of fade this blue up into our night sky. And so just pull that up like that. And then back and forth. And scrub it a little bit. Just want this, I want it lightest in the center, and I want it to kind of fade up and fade down. So Just going to take some of this and bring it down. Little swirls. Okay. Now let me stand back. Remember, I always say stand back and take a look at what you've got going. All right. Just blend this up here a little more. Starts fading. We don't know where it starts or where it ends. Just starts getting lighter. And then up at the top, darker. Okay. Kind of liking that. I think without washing the brush, let's go into a little bit of midnight black. Grab a little linseed oil to thin this out. A little bit of midnight black. Hopefully this isn't going to be too dark. It should blend. And I can grab a little white. Maybe I'll come into the titanium white. Just tone that black down just a little bit. And come up here and make little swirls. Across the sky. Grab a little more of that black. Okay. Kind of a cloudy band that goes across the sky there. And let's take, I'm going to lift up on this a little bit, very lightly. And then come across, kind of blend that. Not real hard. We're not putting a lot of pressure on here. And stand back and see if it's blended like you would like it. And again, I'm loosely following the photograph. It's not going to be an exact. Maybe I'll put the photograph up. I kind of try not to look at it too much. I want to do my own thing. We're going to come into titanium white. I think I'm not going to thin it down. I think I'm going to just use straight titanium white. We're going to change this. Grab some paper towels. I'm going to take some of this off right here. We're going to change the shape of this. Okay. All right. And come across. This needs to be lighter and more of an arch. So we're just changing. I'm just changing. I didn't like the way it looked. So if you guys don't like the way yours is looking, this is going to show you. You can change it at any time. Okay. Now, yeah, I think that'll work. Let's make sure we've got that blended. And it's light through this area here. Maybe a little more white up here. And then I'll just swirl that and blend that up. And back and forth. Let's grab a little of the Midnight Black. Let's put our cloud back in. This time, we're going to come up a little higher. And then back down. And then lightly back and forth. Down, then we can lift up. That kind of blends things in that direction. And then back and forth, smooth everything out. Stand back. All right, I think that'll work. We're not done with it. We're going to add, let's go back to our fan brush that has the white on there. Add some of this white. Outline that a little. Okay. Yeah, just okay. Let's grab. This one, yeah, fairly clean. We haven't even washed a brush yet. We're still using the same brushes. Sometimes you can do that, especially if you're going into darker colors. Now this one I used to blend the white earlier, so that's why I didn't grab the 2-inch brush that's got all the dark colors on it. But sometimes when you're using that brush and you're into blues and blacks and darker colors, you don't always need to wash it in between. You can if you want, doesn't hurt. Sometimes you even want those colors blending on your brush, and so you may not want to wash that brush. Go back and forth. And step back. Tone some of these areas down just a hair. What I mean by that is blend this white just a little more so it kind of fades into the blue and a little bit into that gray cloudy area. Just a little bit. Little softening of the edges here. Okay. Okay, I think that's good for the sky right now. We're going to grab our toothbrush and put some stars in before we go any farther. The stars will be farthest back. We're going to add some trees and some other stuff. So I want the stars to be behind the trees. If I have stars on the trees, it's just not going to look right. So we're going to dip into a little bit of liquid white with our toothbrush. And we're going to come up here, and we have to be careful. We're going to pull back and put some stars up here in this sky. And in the picture, there is billions in the sky. So many stars. Especially across this, I guess it's the Milky Way is what this band is supposed to be. At least that's what it looks like. Okay. Ooh, it's a lot of stars. All right. You know what? Let's grab a 1-inch brush. Clean 1-inch brush. And I think we're going to come into some of this midnight black. Some of this midnight black. And we're going to come across right about the halfway mark. And just all the way across. Something like that. And grab a fan brush, clean fan brush. Pull some of this paint. Maybe grab some more midnight black. Bring that across. Kind of looks like it's floating up there. Little light spot up here, right at the top of the mountain. I like that. We can lift up on a few areas, look like distant trees. Just here and there. A lot of this is going to get covered up, but we might see some of this through the trees and that we're going to put on. So, all right. Ooh, I like that. I like it. Sometimes, and I had to stand back to figure that out, that I like this. The mountain thing is turning out pretty good. Wow. This area right here, I hope this is showing up right where the light part of this Milky Way comes down across the horizon and the mountains here, and it looks like distant trees and just all kinds of little stuff going on. Of course, I'll do a close-up and show you guys more in detail. I'm gonna grab some sap green and let's grab a little bit of it. We're gonna need a little bit. little bit of midnight black in there. Let's bring that up. Maybe a little Prussian blue. Black, blue, green. We want a dark green. The nighttime sky, we're going to have some darker trees. I'm going to dip into a little linseed oil with my fan brush, come into this dark green. We're just going to touch here and there. Come down. We're not doing a traditional evergreen tree. So I'm touching in different spots here, just hitting the canvas where I think it needs some branches. Kind of like that. It's kind of a, looks similar to it. I'm sure this is an evergreen, type of evergreen. I don't know what, this might be juniper. We have a lot of junipers up here on our mountain. And it is Juniper Point. But there's so many varieties, I don't know. I don't want to misname something. There's something down here. It's a different type. And it kind of comes down into that one. I'm just dabbing here and there in kind of tree shapes. Get this a little darker. I'm grabbing green and black, alternating. Sometimes I get a little more black on here than the green, just to give, especially down towards the bottom or the base of these trees, usually a little darker, more shadows at the bottom of these. And every now and then you can see through some of these, and we want that. Stand back again. Something behind this big one, and it's poking up here. Trying to get that to show. All right. Yeah. That works. All right, let's keep going across with our trees. Grabbing a little dark, a little green. This one's very light. Almost see through this tree in the picture. Some of these are kind of transparent, see through the branches and that. Some of them are so thick you can't see through them. And let's see here. A little bit of lake showing through here, so I'm not gonna do much to that. Add a little ground underneath these, this tree line. It's got something to stand on. I'm mixing up the green, the yellow, and the white. Looking for a lighter green. We'll see if it's too light. Maybe I'll stick, yeah, there we go. Yep, kind of got two shades going. I'm gonna come up here. Our ground kind of comes down this way. Just adding some color in here. I'm gonna go back and go into a little darker green, almost our tree color here. And let's fill in between where the black areas of the canvas are. Well, except for this middle, we're gonna do something different right there. We're gonna put a path, a walking path. But in these areas here, let's go ahead and put in some of this darker green. Just add that. We're not gonna put a lot of detail with grass and that kind of thing, grass blades, and we'll see how detailed we get, but I'm thinking I'm gonna keep it a little on the simple side. This is one of those paintings I think you guys could do without too much difficulty. You know, I spend a little more time on this sky, but you can literally put Prussian blue up there, a little bit of white, swirl it around, sprinkle some stars. You don't need to do a cloud across the center with that dark area. You can keep it simple, add some trees, put some greenery in the bottom, and you've got a painting. And trust me, you could do this and it would turn out really good. I have faith in you. Just adding a couple colors of green, a little darker, a little lighter. And then what we're gonna do, now that we've got this whole thing covered, I'm just gonna use my same 1-inch brush, still dirty, just very lightly blend, kind of smooth this. And then we'll stand back and see what we've got. Just here and there. Night sky, it's kind of lighten up this green here. And throw in a few little detail stuff here and there. There's some shadows. And you can come right underneath the highlighted areas, come underneath that for your shadow. Makes it look like the lighter green is a little higher. Shadows are a little lower. We lift up on some of these. I know I said I didn't know if we were going to do any grassy area, little grass blades or anything like that, but as we get up here to the front, we can add a few little details here with this dark. We're just touching and with the fan brush and lifting up. Just here and there. Okay, I'll stand back. Ooh, do kind of like this. Just looks different when you stand back. You know, it always looks different. When I get up close and then I stand back, you see something different. You may not like it when you're standing right up here and you know, your face is in your painting and you're like, I don't like this. And you stand back and then all of a sudden you're like, wow, that doesn't look too bad from here. You need to stand back, and before you go wiping everything off your canvas, I've done that before, and I probably shouldn't have. Had I stood back, I probably would have realized that there was something to save. I don't know, I don't think I've ever wiped off an entire canvas. I've set canvases aside and thought, I don't want to finish this, where I thought it was going in the wrong direction, and I thought I needed just to take a break and come back to it. And I think I've got one or two that I never did go back to. I just decided, you know what? Oh, I'll do another painting, I'll move on to something else. Let's move on to the next thing. I think we're good with the grassy area. I like the trees. I like this mountain back here. We see some of Big Bear Lake, which is where I'm at, shining through the trees here. There is some houses and things like that that are in the photograph that are lit up, and I want to try to represent some of those lights. Not everything, but I think I want to do some of that. And I've got Indian yellow. I think we'll use that. I'm going to grab my liner brush. This is my longer liner brush. Come up here into some Indian yellow. Maybe pull a little of that out. And I think we're going to be using titanium white. So Indian yellow, titanium white for our city lights. We don't really have a city. It's a mountain town with cabins and a lake and fishing and snow skiing, water skiing. I think you can water ski on our lake. I believe so. All right, got that Indian yellow, and we want this lake to show. So we're going to come across the lake to the other side at the base of this mountain, and we're going to put in just some shapes with this yellow. And every now and then, we're gonna put some of this yellow, and we're gonna come into the white here in a second. We'll put some of this yellow in between the trees where we think the lights might shine from these cabins. These are mostly homes and cabins. I don't know that this is the local grocery store that we're seeing lit up here. I'm dipping into a little titanium white and brighten up some of these lights. just making shapes. Sometimes dots, sometimes lines. And come back in, grab some more. A little bit of Indian yellow, titanium white. Okay, keep going with a few of these lights. Some of it showing through the trees. I'm gonna put a little reflection down into this, into the lake. Might put too much right here. Let's use the other end of my paintbrush and kind of move that up. Okay, with a dry brush, come across here just lightly. Just grabbing that yellow and the white with my liner brush. I think we're going to put a few lights in between here and there. Maybe a little more yellow. Okay. Darken some of this up. Stand back. Yeah, I like that. We can see through the trees to the shore on the other side. You can see the water in between the trees from the lake. I like it. I like that. I could probably put, if I'm real careful, let me get my other liner brush. This is so much fun. I'm excited about this. The top of this mountain, I know I kind of lifted up and made the indication, but let's go into some midnight black. And let's try to put the indication of a few trees back here. Doesn't want to stick. Might have to grab some linseed oil, thin this black down just a little. See if that helps. Just a few trees. They're in the distance. They're not going to be that big to our eye because they're farther away, but I do want to kind of see that there's some trees over there across the water. There we go. Yeah. A few trees on that ridge line. And very lightly, I think I'm going to put a trunk on that guy there. Just stuff you see. He's got a trunk. Don't really see anything on these, don't need to. Right. Okay. Let's move on to the next thing. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Okay, we got to put this pathway in. Comes right out here. Takes up a big portion. Let's see, what's the best brush? I'm going to grab this one here. We just want to draw in an outline of where this path goes. So I think we're going to be using black and white. Some grays to do this walking path. So somewhere back here it comes out. Maybe even a little farther. Let's see, grab some white. Just in case I nail this the first time, get it right. I'm going to put the highlight on the top of this. So there's wooden, I don't know if they're 4x4s or 4x6s or they're railroad ties, but this pathway is outlined with wood. And the tops of that, as the rails go out, would be lit up. The sides and down here, wherever the light's coming from, the sides and the bottom would be a little darker, but the tops of those, maybe they're railroad ties, they'd be a little lighter. So I'm just grabbing a little white. Just something like that. All right, back into the dark. The black. Let's start over here. Now we could make this more dramatic. If we make this angle, then it really means the path is coming right up to us here. The photograph doesn't have it quite that dramatic, but we can, you know what, let's do a little bit more. So get into our black. See what I'm doing? I'm changing the angle of our path. This brings the perspective right up in your face that this path is coming your way. And I know I already put the light part on here, but let's say we want to change this side. Let's come over here and widen this side. Okay. It's the dark side of the wood. Now, let me rinse that. If my calculations are correct. Now let's go into some white. Let's see if we can make this happen. We'll go into straight, maybe a touch of black. I don't know, straight white is what we need. Touch black. Just tone it down just a little bit, mostly white. Okay, let's put a top on this wood, starting way back here. out to the edge. Okay, same thing on the other side. A little bit of white. And whiten this out just a little bit, like that. Widen that one out just a little bit. That's the top of the wood. We can change the color. I'm just using white to give us a, and it's mixing with that green on the grass, so not worried about it yet. Just want to get the angle of what we want to do here. So this is going to be path all in here. And let's see, where's my palette knife? Let's grab some white. Let's just go white and black. Let's go gray. And this palette knife has a little bit of green on it, but that's right. Black and white. We're going to kind of do a gray. And if it's got a little greenish tint, maybe there's some grass or some moss growing on this pathway. Okay, come from this side. There. Outline this where the path is in the middle. Right now, just adding paint. We're going to stand back, take a look. Looks like a path. Looks like a path. Okay. You set the palette knife down. And where's that other brush? Right here. We go into my dark, the midnight black. That's good. Let me rinse it off. I'm getting too many colors here. Night black. All right. I'm just redrawing the inside of this log that borders the pathway. It's got two sides to the path made out of wood. Big lumber. Grab some more black, starting to get a little bleed over in here. All right. Same thing down this side. We're just gonna lightly just kind of go over that dark area. All right, my battery died. And I turned off my overhead light and zoomed in a little bit so you guys could see a little bit better on what I'm doing here. So let's get back to it. We're working on this this pathway. We're going to put a few little highlights and that on our pathway. And adding in just some dark areas to this wood. Just here and there. And I'll go back and clean up the edges. I'll highlight a little bit of this edge over here, just in a few spots. And using my other hand to kind of brace against the easel. Makes it a little easier. Hard to keep a steady hand sometimes. Highlight this outer edge. Just blending it a little bit, soften that edge. We want it highlighted on that edge. Oh, that doesn't look too bad. That doesn't look too bad. Dipping into a little more. Let's come up here and hit a couple spots. On the inside. So I'm kind of putting a highlight on the outside of the rail and then one right at the top on the inside of the rail, like that. And then there's actually some light areas in the photograph along this edge here. Kind of just random highlights. It's getting a little bit of black on my palette knife. Instead of using the liner brush, I'm trying to cut in some indications of some boards on this walkway, this path here. So just cutting in some lines, trying to stay as straight as I can. You know, they're not going to be perfect. They don't have to be real dark, just the idea that these boards are there on this path. Kind of have the indication of some boards, and it's a little shaded here at the edge, and it comes out. Just going to add a little dark here at the edge, kind of pull it. Same over here. Just kind of coming down the center of the boards, where the boards would be. Kind of highlight that center. some more. If it's not showing up, add a little more white. We could let this whole painting dry and go back with the liner brush and put the boards on after, you know, the paint had dried. It'd be a lot easier, but we're trying to do this all in one sitting, wet on wet. In the photograph, they have some stars that look blue. They look blue. And we've got some of them here and there. We're just touching the canvas. Don't even know if this is going to show up, but I think it adds something to it. Another color to the sky. Oh, there's one other thing. Let's see if we can do this quick. There's a fence in the, this pathway goes down here, down by the lake. Again, we can see the water through the trees, and over here you can really see the lake shining through, and then the mountain cabins and houses over here shining into the water. I give it a little reflection. But there is a fence. This pathway goes to the right and down by the lake, and there's a walkway that goes down there. All you can see from this side is a fence. So I think we're going to try to put that fence in. Let's try it with the liner brush here. Going to straight titanium white. All right, let's come up here with the liner brush. The first fence board is on an angle, and then the rest of them are upright. I think it's farther way back here. Something like that. And let's see here. Get some more paint. And just connecting the rails on these fence posts. Something like that. And we got the liner brush, put a little shadow under these posts. Indication, a little shadow. If we want to really get fancy, we'll connect the rails down on the ground. Don't have to be real precise. Okay, and there we've got a fence, we've got a shadow down on the ground below the fence, maybe a shadow down here, but this one. The other thing that was in the photograph, one of these trees, you can see some of the trunk coming down, and it's kind of a bigger, I believe it is a juniper, and it's kind of a brownish color. We've got Indian yellow. I'm wondering if we can't make the indication of a trunk over here. That's a big trunk right here. It comes out. It's a big old trunk. A little too much paint there. It's got some knots on it. It kind of goes up. Get this to stick. Just the indication that there's a trunk on this one. Something like that. And we'll throw some branches up here. Indication. All right. Let's come down this side over here, just kind of darken in this side of the tree. A shadow underneath the tree. Indication of the tree right there. And shadow. Maybe blend that out just a little bit. Just indication that there's a shadow there. Tree's casting a shadow. Oh, I like that better. Yeah. We're going to call this one done. I hope you guys followed along with this. This one, like I said, is not that difficult. Once you get your sky in there and you get a tree line in that, we put a few more details in this, you know, to make it maybe a little more complicated, but you could do a simplified version of this painting, and anybody out there, any one of you guys could do this and that. So, and we could even, I don't know, I might let this dry and actually paint in the boards and do some wood grain on there. I don't know. We'll see. As it sits right now, I'm pretty happy with it, but let's sign it. Let's grab our liner brush, kind of the sky color across here with the Milky Way. We'll use that. And down here in the corner. Well, there we go. Another finished painting, signed. Beautiful night sky. I think this is the Milky Way. This is actually an area up here where I live. It's called Juniper Point. And a good friend sent me a photograph and said, hey, you might want to use this for inspiration. So I know who's getting this painting, but I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for hanging out with me so much. I'll try to get more paintings out sooner. You know, I'm juggling a lot, but I just appreciate you being here. I will see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.